Welcome back. This is John Keene, the Sports Information Director here at Missouri S&T, and your moderator for today's pre-tournament press conference with the 8 head coaches representing the men's teams that will compete in the 2018 NCAA Division II Elite Eight here at the Sanford Pentagon. They'll begin on Tuesday for the men's portion of the tournament. Before we begin, we ask you to please turn off or silence your cell phones during the course of this press conference. We'll carry the same format we did with the women for the men's press conference this afternoon. We'll have opening statements from each of the 8 coaches and talk about their teams and season that brought them here to Sioux Falls, and then we'll take questions from the media prior to providing some one-on-one time for you to talk with the coaches. I'll begin by introducing the coaches of the Elite Eight teams. Still waiting for one to arrive here if we make it here. We'll begin, though, with Patrick Beeline from Lemoyne College, champions of the East Regional and number 5 seed in the Elite Eight. The Dolphins entered their first Elite Eight with a record of 27-6 on the season, and were ranked 24th in the final NABC coaches poll. Next, we have Tom Brown from West Texas A&M University, the champions of the South Central Regional and number 4 seed in the Elite Eight. The Buffaloes, ranked 11th nationally, bring a record of 31-3 into their second Elite Eight appearance in school history, the other one coming back in 1998. Lemoyne and West Texas A&M will play in the first game on Tuesday at noon. Our next coach is Butch Estes of Barry University, who's bringing the Buccaneers to the Elite Eight for the second time in 3 years. Barry's second Elite Eight appearance in school history comes on the heels of a 23-8 season that saw them win the South Regional as the number 7 seed. The top seed for this year's Elite Eight is Midwest Regional champion Ferris State University, who's coached by Andy Brockema. The Bulldogs are ranked second nationally and enter their second Elite Eight with a record of 35-1, the best of any team in this year's field. Ferris State's previous Elite Eight appearance took place 30 years ago in 1988. Barry and Ferris State will face off with the 2:30 game on Tuesday afternoon. Next, we have Rick Croy from California Baptist University, who won the West Regional Championship to reach the Elite Eight for the first time in school history. The Lancers are ranked 7th in this week's tournament and are 28-5 on the season, and were ranked 21st in the final coaches poll this year. They will take on Queens University at 6 p.m. on Tuesday night. The Royals are coached by Bart Lundy from Queens University, North Carolina. They captured the Southeast Regional with a win over top seed Lincoln Memorial. The Royals are ranked 7th nationally, have a record of 31-3 on the year, and in the Elite Eight for the 3rd time, the first appearance for them since 2003. And Coach Lundy, I think, has just arrived here on the scene here at our press conference this afternoon. Again, California Baptist and Queens will begin Tuesday's evening session at 6 o'clock. Our next coach is Jeff Wilson from East Stroudsburg University and the champions of the Atlantic Regional. The 6-seeded Warriors captured their first regional championship last week to earn their Elite Eight berth and bring a 27-5 record on the season into the game on Tuesday night. And the last of our 8 teams is one of the shortest trip to Sioux Falls. Paul Sather of 3rd-seeded Northern State University, the Wolves of the champions of the Central Region, ranked 6th nationally and are in the Elite Eight for the second time in school history, making their other appearance back in 1998. East Stroudsburg and Northern State will wrap up the quarterfinal round Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. At this time, we will turn over the microphone to the coaches. We'll begin with Coach Beeline.
Thank you. So obviously Lemoyne, and we're excited to be here. The first Elite Eight appearance for our school. Our kids are excited having such a veteran group of 8 seniors. I'm happy that they are able to experience this. Anytime you can continue to coach well into March and players can play well into March, it's a great thing. So just watching teams get knocked out of the Division I NCAA tournament, and we're still here practicing, all these great coaches and their teams, it's a great feeling. So we're happy to be here, and thank you for attending.
Hey, Coach Brown.
Obviously, we're very excited as well to be here. It's been a while. Been down at West Texas A&M for 4 years, and our women's team has been very successful down there, and we draw some good crowds. Our men's team has kind of caught fire a little bit, and we started to get some good crowds and some really good interest in our men's program. And you know, to get to 20 wins, I think anybody would agree is quite an accomplishment for any team, and we got to 30 this year, so it's quite an accomplishment for our 4 seniors. We're very well balanced. We have 4 seniors, 3 juniors, 3 sophomores, and 4 freshmen. And so we're hoping to continue the success and be back again and again. But it's just an honor to be here. It's something that doesn't happen. 8 teams out of the 300-plus Division II teams It's quite an honor for all 8 of us up here. I know these guys will probably just say the same thing, but it really is, and we're looking for some really good basketball in the next 3-4 days out of all the teams. It should be a lot of fun.
Coach Estes.
Thank you. We too are very privileged and honored to be here. We have a challenging first-round opponent, Andy and his team, 35-1. We don't play that many games in 2 seasons. So, but he's got a great basketball team. I think we have a very competitive team. We're proud to represent our region and the Sunshine State Conference, which is very competitive. I think we had 8 teams with winning records this year out of our league. So it was very competitive, and we're very fortunate to finish at the top of that and win the region. So we look forward to the competition and certainly the exposure. This is tremendous. And for our student athletes, this experience, you just can't buy it. And we would also like to reach out and thank our host, the city and the sports commission, and everyone that's been involved in your hospitality. Thank you very much.
Coach Brockema.
Again, just blessed and honored to be here. You know, in the Midwest region, we've had some pretty high-profile programs to look at over the years since I've started coaching, and to think that we've gotten on their level and now reached the Elite Eight is something special to think about. And, you know, this class of seniors that we have is the all-time winningest group in Ferris State history, and they're the ones that are getting this done and making us all look good. They came in, it was our first recruiting class, and it was after a 10-win season. So they saw something, and they believed in it, and here they are, and they deserve it. And I'm proud to coach them, thankful for being here, and looking forward to a good tournament.
Coach Croy.
Yeah, grateful to be here representing CBU, California Baptist University. It's taken us 5 years to get here. We feel honored to be here. I think we've had a unique journey. We were 17-3 in conference, and it wasn't quite good enough to cut down the nets. We got a great senior group. Then we played in our conference tournament in our brand new event center, and we weren't quite good enough on that day either, and we had to watch somebody cut down our own nets. So our team was hungry in regional play, and I think it's a neat thing for the student athletes to be here. I think regional play, we all appreciate the opportunity to compete, but it's different. You're competing against teams that you know very well. Sometimes you're competing against teams from your own conference. So to be here and play against all these great teams, it's an honor. I know for myself, from a coaching perspective, I've just had a chance over the last few days and gone online on the internet and looked at the bios of the coaches that are sitting up here, and just feel honored to be sitting up here with these guys. A lot of great coaches, and I think it's also a time where you reflect and appreciate the mentorship you've had in your own career. Just to be able to be up here competing, and our guys are looking forward to it. And again, we appreciate the city and just an amazing facility to compete in. So grateful to be here.
Coach Lundy.
Thanks. Apologize for my tardiness, and Coach, sorry about the phone. Thank you to Sioux Falls and this area, surrounding area, for hosting. We've only been here since 9 p.m. last night, but the folks that we've met and interacted with have been so gracious and excited about hosting Division II basketball here. I think the fans here, I know they saw it last year, but they're going to be amazed at the level of the athletes that are here and the coaching. I've been all over the country at different levels, and I still remember in 2001 and 2003 the experiences I had with the Queens teams then at the Elite Eight, and some of those coaches are still really good friends of mine, and I never would have met them without that experience. So we're happy to be here, and you know, we lost to the same team 3 times in a row during the season in the conference tournament before we beat them to come here. Lincoln Memorial, who was #1 in the nation at the time, and you know, it's just you know, you get kids and they fight and they scrap, and I think we all have the same story, and Sioux Falls is in for a treat. Like Coach, I've studied some of the teams here. It's going to be high level basketball. Well, thank you for having us.
Coach Wilson.
Thank you. This is a new experience for us. First time we've been to the Elite Eight, and we're very fortunate to be here. As an alum of East Stroudsburg University, it's special to be able to bring your alma mater to this type of stage. I feel blessed to be able to do that. Our guys this year really bought in. The reason that we're here, no question, is we have outstanding leadership from three young men, Steve Harris, Jaquan Jones, Najee Walls. At the end of January, we took a beating, and we were at a little bit of a crossroads in our locker room on how good of a team we were going to be. And those guys really rallied the troops. We haven't lost since. They've been tremendous on a daily basis of getting everybody on the right track and keeping us on the right track. And, we're looking very forward to the opportunity that we have. We have a great matchup here, 34-3. A little bit scared of that one maybe, but, and a home team. So we're looking forward to the opportunity and, to be able to bring my team to this venue. I was the chair of the committee last year. I relinquished that this year to be able to come here, and that's a great thing for me. But to be able to watch the teams over the years and hope that you get the opportunity to bring your team here and then actually have the opportunity to do it, that's special because it's very, very difficult to win, and it's very difficult to get to this opportunity.
And Coach Sather.
Yeah, I'll echo a lot of what the coaches have said. Stars aligned a little bit for us at Northern State this year. I've got 4 seniors, 3 of which have had season-ending injuries throughout their career. So sometimes when you recruit, I think all coaches would agree, you don't quite always know what you'll end up with at that, that freshman or a sophomore might having to wait another year or two. And it's one of those years for us where I've got a pretty veteran group. And I think what we try to do is get out of their way as much as we can. We've got 4 seniors and 3 juniors, and they just have fought all year for us. They've fought all year for their team, and they love being a team, and it's been kind of a fun ride for us. I'm an alum of Northern State, and 20 years ago, I was a graduate assistant at Wayne State with Greg McDermott, and I got to drive up and watch Ryan Miller score about 50 at South Dakota State in the region final to get to the Elite Eight. And it's fun 20 years ago to have that coach at our practice this morning, watching us practice, because that's who I played for, Bob Olson. And Northern State's got a rich history and tradition in basketball with attendance. Sioux Falls is about 3 hours away, and we'll have a good group of people coming down. And like I said, stars kind of aligned for us, and we're really excited. It's a good group of guys, some awfully good teams, and we're just so excited about being here and representing our region. Our region's been pretty strong over the years, so we're pretty fortunate to get out of there. So thanks.
Okay, at this time, we will turn the microphone over and let you have some questions for any of the coaches up here. Please state your name and affiliation before asking a question.
Yeah, I think it did. I mean, Steve grew up, obviously. At one point, we weren't actually sure that he was going to come back to school. He played 5 games. He and a young man, Rasheed Moore, at the time, they came in together. They were roommates. They were roommates all throughout the career. Rasheed was graduating. I thought with those 2 guys, I might have had the best inside game, at least in the Northeast. When Steve got hurt, our season kind of took a bad turn. We still won 18 games, but it wasn't the season we thought it could be. And at one point, Steve thought maybe I should just graduate and get on with my life. Decided to come back, went through a lot of rehab. Unfortunately for him, he got hurt again right at the beginning of September. He was at another crossroads, but at that point, he had already put in his 5th year in, and he was going to do it. Somehow he's stayed healthy. He hasn't missed a practice. He hasn't missed a game. He hasn't done anything. I should knock on wood because we still got one tomorrow. But he's been tremendous. And from a leadership standpoint, I talked about him, Jaquan, and Naj. Those guys, Steve's the personality of the group. I mean, Steve's just lighthearted, and gets everybody in the right direction, and then when he says something serious, it shocks everybody because he's so funny sometimes. But you know, Steve's obviously a major reason for our success, as are those guys in the locker room. And you know, without him, we wouldn't be here. I mean, he's carried the load for us. He was the MVP of our tournament. He was the MVP of the regional tournament. And you know, I'm just glad that he's had the opportunity that he has.
I'd like to follow up quickly. Can you talk about your experience in the chair activity and how that's, helped you grow as a coach?
Yeah, well, first of all, my experience on the committee has been a great experience for me. You know, the guys that sit on the RAC regional committees, that I've got to learn just a lot about the NCAA, different regions, and what that entails. That's been a great experience for me. Donnie Wagner, who's an advocate and leads the championships here. Donnie's the best, and this championship is going to go off really well. It's going to show really well, and Donnie's a major reason for that. As far as a coaching standpoint goes, I've gotten to see. I looked at it as a coaching clinic. You know, I get to come here and watch teams practice. You know, these guys have referenced the quality of coaches that are sitting here today. Over the last 3 or 4 years, I've gotten to see it on a daily basis in practice, and you know, get out the notepad and take some things with you. So we all steal from each other, I think, at different times. But that's really helped me, and it's, you know, so when you get here with your team, you really feel good about it.
I'll ask a question here. I've got one right in the back.
I think our 25-minute shoot-around should be good with that, right? It's going to be whatever happens in that 40 minutes. You know, I've had the opportunity to watch a lot of film of these guys, and very fundamental, very well coached, have very good depth at different spots, very quality opponent. All 8 teams up here, I think, are quality opponents. You know, and every game's going to be decided upon what happens in that 40 minutes. We've played in enough venues that I think we'll be okay. And you know, from that perspective, it's just another basketball game, and I'm not going to make it any bigger than that. I mean, they are the home team. We're going to have, how many did you say, 4,000 people here? You guarantee 4,000? So whatever it is, it is. I can't do anything about that. So we're just going to get ready to play a basketball game.
Yeah, if you get to this level and you're not hungry, something's wrong. So, yeah, it's a great honor to be back. I think, you know, we have 3 players who were here 2 years ago. However, we have 10 that weren't. So for them, they got big eyes, and it's great. It's great. This experience, even for us coaches, is a memory of a lifetime. And I've encouraged our guys to, even though 3 of them have done it before, to enjoy the moment and to take each, practice and meal and togetherness and the competition. Just don't take it for granted. Enjoy it and get ready to play. It's a different field, but these guys in our own regions and their own conferences are the elite. That's why they call it, I guess, the Elite 8. And so you better be ready. You better be ready no matter who you're playing. And somebody asked, well, we're the last seed. If we had played first seed first, I wouldn't want to play any of these guys at any time. But you just got to play who you got to play. So you better be ready. And I think the experience will help us a little bit, maybe.
I have a question for really any of you at the table up here. Obviously, none of these teams were in the Elite 8 last season. What was the one thing with your seasons that maybe put you over the top to get you here to Sioux Falls this season?
Well, I think for Lemoyne up in the East region, having a veteran group like we did, we really scheduled to hopefully get to this point to where we went to Bellarmine on a long drive. We went to Fairmont State, two teams that met in the Final Four last year. So we wanted to see that competition level and what it was like. And they beat us both handily. And I think from that point on, it helped us to now understand how important each practice was, each film session, each weight session. And we learned from it, and I got a great group, and we were hungry. And when we got into the NE10, a very challenging conference, those losses helped us, and it helped us in our conference tournament as well, and then into the NCAA first-round region. So I'm very happy the way it all worked out. At the time, I didn't like losing by 30 to both teams, but in the end, you learn more from a loss.
Same question, any of you up at the table?
From our standpoint, we lost a pretty key component to our team last year in Darren Paterka. He tore his ACL in the summer, and very similar situation that they had with Coach Wilson's team is that he could have probably decided not to come back, decided that he still did, and so we learned how to play without him last year, and some guys had to maybe step up, and we returned a lot of those guys from that team last year. And you add Darren to this team, he's kind of a multi-dimensional player. He can play both ends of the floor pretty well, good feel, good defender, and has a knack. He kind of has a knack for making plays. And I just think that along with, we scheduled pretty tough this year. We wanted to play Northwest Mo. We've been trying to play them the last couple of years. I know, Coach Brown, you don't agree, but we went down and played Northwest Mo and Washburn University right out of the gate, which were two good games for us. We were going to go to Puerto Rico and play a couple teams down there, and of course, that disaster happened. We ended up playing here instead. But I just think the scheduling part of it and getting healthy and getting a lot of guys back.
I think for CBU, and it may be the common thread amongst all 8 teams up here, is senior leadership. I think that's one thing that finds our level. Maybe at some other levels, young guys, maybe their talent's so extreme they can do it. But I think at our level, you need great senior leadership, and that's what we've had at CBU. And there's a lot to be said for when your best players are your hardest workers. And and like what Coach Estes says, reminding them to enjoy these moments, because I think all of us up here will say it's hard to get here. I mean, there's so much talent in each of these conferences, and I think the thing that probably separated all the teams up here is what our seniors are about. So we really want to enjoy it, and that's why we're so appreciative of the environment that's going to be created.
Any other questions from those in the audience? We got one in the back.
Well, I got the same hotel room, the exact same hotel room that I had when I stayed in the conference tournament, which is nice, I guess. Listen, it's just exciting to be with our team again. It was fun to be at practice, It's really strange to be practicing the last time on your home court, knowing that it's the last practice of the season. Usually you're just kind of hoping to get back to practice some more. And we're to the point now where that was our last practice there. And from a selfish standpoint, everything that these guys have said, it is such a unique group of guys. I would sign up to coach these guys every year. But I think they're going to really appreciate the support. We've been pretty fortunate that we get great crowds at our place. And the truth is our guys really appreciate the support we get. We just got to make sure we try to keep that distraction a little bit minimized, but in the same respect, enjoy it. Go out and enjoy it. Be who you are, and just keep being the best team you can be. But, it's going to be fun. It's going to be there's a lot of, from just Sioux Falls and the Minneapolis area, I think we've got a lot of people that are alums that are taking a lot of pride in coming back and watching us play as well. So it should be a fun night Tuesday night. Regardless of what happens, it's just such a cool opportunity.
One last question over here.
Well, last year's team was last year's team. We had some different personnel. We added some players this year. We've got a couple really good freshmen, I think, that are contributing this season. And then I think the experience. You know, you go to Colorado Mines did not have a great showing out here last year. They were a very good team, but they didn't have a great showing in the Elite Eight. But they just handed it to us in that regional. And to win 3, you've got to have some depth. You've got to have leadership. You've got to have the ball bounce your way. And, you know, that's something that hopefully we learned from in that Sweet 16 last year, and then we can carry that over. We did that in our conference tournament and then the regional to get out of our regional, and I think our regional is very, very strong, just like everybody's regional. You know, the top teams in any regional are going to be really talented ball clubs. So the experience that we can draw from that, from last year, hopefully will help us a little bit in this Elite Eight.
One more? Okay.
Yes, I can. First question, the regional championship game was the 8th time that we've played in Lincoln Memorial in the last 2 years. It's the 7th time we've played them in the last 12